Meant for diplomacy, not support. I slid into my usual seat at the far end, away from my father's dominating presence at the head. The emergency family meeting summons had arrived yesterday, written in my mother's cursive, elegant but tight, like her concern. "Camille, really?" she said, her voice slicing through the air as she fluffed the hydrangeas in the centerpiece. "Would it kill you to wear something polished?" I glanced at my ivory silk blouse and tailored black slacks. Minimalist and worth more than her entire brunch wardrobe. But details never mattered in this house. Not unless they came with a family crest or a legacy resume. My sister Elise Walston next, CFO of Donovan Capital. Heels loud, presence louder, her Birkin bag screamed, legacy. "Still doing that little app project?" she asked, voice drenched in condescension. "Selling digital clutter to bored millennials." I smiled, let her talk. She didn't know I'd just finished a call with Forbes and had a cover shoot at sunrise. "Let's begin," my father declared, decades of executive control echoing in each word. "We're here because Camille's situation has become concerning." My situation, that's what they called building a tech platform from scratch, refusing nepotism, and scaling past seed stage into private equity territory. "It's affecting the family standing," my mother added, ringing her pearls. "You've had your experiment, dear." My office on the 23rd floor of Riverfront Tower said otherwise. So did the acquisition paperwork in my briefcase. In 2 hours, Donovan Capital's biggest competitor would officially belong to me. "We've been patient," Elise said, inspecting her manicure. "It's time to come home." My phone buzzed. "Marcus, my coup, press release ready, goes live at 6:00 p.m. I checked my watch, 1 hour 57 minutes, and then everything would change. "We found you something," Dad announced. "Junior Analyst at Donovan Capital, you can start Monday." I studied his expression, searching for even a flicker of recognition. Did he realize the woman across from him was being profiled tomorrow in the Wall Street Journal? As a FinTech visionary, the one Forbes just called a disruptor, the future of decentralized finance. "Did you know?" I said evenly. "Forbes is releasing its most powerful women in tech list today." Elise waved a manicured hand. "Of course, I've been on the short list for 3 years." She hadn't, but no one called her on it. "Though I doubt it's relevant to your side hustle," she added with a smirk. Mom cleared her throat. "Actually, there's something more pressing. The country club board meets tomorrow. People have been asking about what you do. Could you try maybe a class?" I almost laughed. "Very club my holding firm quietly bought last month along with half the neighboring real estate they warped." "What do you tell them?" I asked. "Well," Mom stammered, "we keep it vague. It's easier than saying our daughter sells financial infrastructure." I replied calmly. "Shopify plugins," Elise said under her breath. My phone buzzed again. "Marcus, newsroom's prepped. Everything launches at 6:00 p.m. sharp." "The point is," Dad cut in, "this has gone on long enough. You're 32, Camille. Time to join the real world." "The real world," I echoed, picturing our valuation report. "The one placing our company at $2.4 billion. Yes, Elise nodded. "Where success is measured in revenue, not retweets." Then it came. Phones buzzed in unison. News alerts filled the room. Breaking largest FinTech acquisition in history confirmed for $8 billion deal led by startup CEO Camille Donovan. I sipped my water. "Speaking of numbers, how's Donovan Capital's digital division holding up?" Dad frowned at his screen. "Stable, but this might shift market confidence." "Why knuckling stability?" I murmured. "Not ideal in this climate." "And how would you know that?" Elise snapped. "From your experience selling code bloggers." I stood slowly, smoothing my blast. "I should get back. Some of us have industries to reshape." "Sit down," Dad ordered. "We're not finished discussing your future." "Actually," I said, calm and measured, "I think the future is about to discuss itself." As I reached the door, my mother called after me. "Don't forget the junior analyst role. They need your answer by tomorrow." I paused, one hand on the doorknob, and allowed myself a small, quiet smile. "I'll have to decline. I have a board meeting." "My board? You're what?" Alice's voice cracked through the silence. But I was already walking out, leaving them to their confusion. In less than 2 hours, They'd understand everything I'd built while they were busy writing me off. Back in my real office, penthouse level, riverfront tower, I scanned the final press release. Marcus Maiku adjusted his tie with a grin. They seriously don't know you're about to be the youngest female CEO on the Fortune 500. They'll know, I said, turning to face the massive glass windows framing the Savannah skyline. At 5:55 p.m. I stepped into the elevator. Marcus handed me a sleek black folder just for optics. Your sister keeps calling, he noted. Apparently, Harrison Financial stock is twitchy. I smirked. Tell her to keep watching. The real movement hasn't started. When the elevator opened, the lobby was alive with flashing cameras, analysts whispering, and every major outlet tuned in. At the center, a podium bearing the Genesis FinTech logo. My phone buzzed, a message from Dad. Hearing something big's happening in FinTech. Might impact our market. Let's revisit that analyst offer soon. I slipped the phone into my pocket without responding. He'd find out soon enough. I stepped to the podium. Lights, flashes, tension. Good evening, I said steady and sure. I'm Camille Donovan, CEO of Genesis Financial Technologies. The ripple in the room was instant. And as I concluded the announcement of our $8.2 billion acquisition of Dominion Bank's digital arm, I knew this moment would rewrite everything. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or told to play small, stick around. Hit subscribe because the next chapter of this story proves just how powerful quiet ambition can be. Not just the acquisition of our largest competitor, but also the unveiling of our AI-driven banking platform. My phone lit up like Times Square. 52 missed calls from Dad, 38 from Mom, 67 from Elise, 241 texts and counting. I leaned back in my chair, the city glittering beneath the riverfront tower windows. Marcus entered carrying the remote and a fresh espresso. Coverage is everywhere, he said. Tech prodigy Camille Donovan emerges as FinTech's quiet powerhouse. Genesis AI reshapes the banking landscape. Donovan Capital left reeling as daughter claims the crown. He set the cup down. Your dad's tried to bypass security 3 times. Elise is threatening to call the police if we don't let her in. I scrolled through messages from Dad. What have you done? This can't be real. Call me. From Mom. Darling, we're thrilled. Why didn't you say something? The country club will be delighted. From Elise, you manipulative little. How long have you planned this? This is sabotage, the intercom buzzed. Miss Donovan, my assistant said. Forbes photographers are here for your cover shoot. I walked to the window. From here, I could see Donovan Capital's building, where they once offered me an entry. Level role where Elise still thought she ruled the world. Send them up, I replied, and Marcus bring today's trading reports. Genesis stock plus 40%. Donovan Capital minus 25%. The market had spoken, then my private line rang. Only 5 people had that number. Elizabeth Chin, Forbes editor-in-chief. Camille, she greeted. We're finalizing the headline. The Silent Revolution. How Camille Donovan rewrote the rules of modern finance. Any last quote? I thought of all the dinners, lectures, dismissals. Just one, I said. Success doesn't need permission, just patience. After the shoot, Marcus returned with updates. 3 major banks want integration talks. 6 more want licensing deals. He paused. Your sister's giving interviews now. I looked at the screen. Elise stood outside Donovan Capital, smile strained. Of course, we supported Camille's venture, she declared on national TV. The Donovan family has always supported innovation. I muted it, sent her the cease and desist, I told Marcus. No unauthorized statements about Genesis or me. Already filed, he replied. Also, your mother's posted 7 times this hour about her brilliant daughter, who clearly takes after me. I smiled faintly. Amazing how fast a craft hobby becomes a visionary venture when it's followed by 9 zeros. A knock at the door interrupted us. Miss Donovan, my assistant said, your father's back and he brought your grandfather. That made me pause. Alexander Donovan, Sr., the man who built Donovan Capital from a corner office with a rotary phone. The one who taught me compound interest before I was tall enough to reach the ledger cabinet. Long before my father and sister deemed me unfit for the business world. Send them up, I said, voice calm, and Marcus pulled the acquisition proposal for Donovan Capital. While I waited, I studied my reflection in the window, still in the same minimalist white blouse my mother had judged earlier. Strange how different it looked when backed by an empire. The door opened. Dad entered first, shoulders tense, eyes guarded. But Grandpa, he walked in like he'd been here before. Familiar, warm, a quiet one, he said softly, surveying the office. Always watching, always learning. I wondered when you'd show them. Dad's head snapped up. You knew since she was 12, Grandpa said, easing into the chair. Corrected my forecast over eggs and toast. You were too busy praising Alice's new highlights. I said nothing. Just sat behind my desk, watching my father's pride fracture under the weight of truth. Why? He finally asked. Why keep it from us? Keep what? I said. Genesis was built legally, transparently. I even used our name. You just never saw past your assumptions. Your little tech business was one shell company, I added. A fraction of what I was really building. Grandpa chuckled, and now she owns the country club that wouldn't even grant her full membership. Dad jerked. What? I smiled. Genesis bought it last month. I confirmed, folding my hands. Along with most of the properties in that gated community you and Mom love bragging about. Amazing what you can buy when people don't take you seriously enough to check the paperwork. Dad's face fell. This will destroy Donovan Capital. No, I said, sliding a leather folder across the desk. This will save it if you're smart enough to take the offer. His hands trembled slightly as he opened it. His eyes scanned the pages slower than usual. A merger, he whispered. A strategic one, I explained. Donovan Capital becomes part of Genesis. You keep the name some autonomy, but you stop swimming against the current and join the future instead of sinking beneath it. And if we refuse, I tapped my screen, loading a live demo of our AI-driven banking interface already integrated into 5 regional banks. Then you compete against technology that's already shaping tomorrow. Against a platform now valued at 4 times your entire firm, against momentum you can't stop. Your sister will never allow it, he said, but the certainty in his voice was gone. Elise already lost your 3 biggest clients to us this afternoon, I replied calmly. They signed transition contracts right after my press conference. She won't decide, the board will. Grandpa leaned forward, his eyes bright. You've played this beautifully, a clean checkmate. I learned from you, I said. You always told me to watch the quiet ones. They see what the loud ones miss. A knock. Marcus stepped in, holding new reports. Genesis up another 15% after hours. Donovan just got downgraded by 3 analysts. Dad rose slowly. That junior analyst offer was beneath me then, I said. Just like it is now. The difference now you understand why. He nodded once, then left. I turned back to the skyline. The city shimmered in lights and silence. Tomorrow would bring more questions, more headlines, more spin. But tonight, in my simple white shirt, I sat at the head of everything I'd built, not for revenge but for clarity. Because sometimes the real triumph is when they realize they never truly knew you at all. The Forbes cover dropped at midnight. My face, framed by that same simple white shirt, stood bold beneath the headline, The Silent Revolution, How a Daughter Built an Empire While Her Family Built Excuses. By 6:30 a.m., I was walking into Genesis Tower, slipping past a wall of reporters camped outside. In my office, Marcus waited with coffee and the morning briefing. Elise is on CNBC, he said, claiming she's been your silent mentor all along, guided you from behind the scenes. He switched on the muted live feed. I watched her hair perfect, smile tight, but even with professional lighting, the panic in her eyes bled through. Numbers, I asked. Genesis opened up 30%, Donovan Capital down 45%. Their board meets in an hour to review our offer. My phone buzzed. A message from Mom. Darling, the country club is abuzz. I Been invited to join 3 charity boards. When can we schedule a family portrait for the society pages? I deleted it without replying. Your grandfather's here, my assistant announced over the intercom, and he brought documents. Grandpa entered carrying a cracked leather briefcase I hadn't seen in years. The same one he used to teach me market cycles when no one else bothered. Thought you might want these, he said, laying out worn pages. Your first predictive model, age 12, the one that forecasted the 2008 crash in crayon, no less. You kept these every idea, every proposal, even your undergrad thesis on algorithmic lending. You always saw the future. Your dad never asked, too focused on making Elise his carbon copy. He sat with a sigh, they're voting now. I opened the live feed from Donovan Capital's boardroom. Courtesy of owning the building's surveillance. Elise stood at the head, gesturing wildly, even without sound. Her words were clear. This is a hostile takeover. We can't let her win. Grandpa chuckled, nodding toward my phone. Speaking of winning, your mom just replaced her Facebook banner with your Forbes cover. I smiled. Quiet victories echoed loudest when no one saw them coming. She conveniently cropped out the part where you called out their lack of support, Grandpa said, nodding at my mother's social media post. Some things never change, I murmured just as the intercom buzzed. Miss Donovan, my assistant's voice came through, calm but charged. The Donovan Capital board vote is in. I sat straighter, eyes fixed on the live feed. The chairman rose. Elise sat frozen, shoulders sagging. My father stared ahead, expression hollow. They accepted, my assistant confirmed. Full merger, your terms, they want to announce immediately. Stop the stock's free fall. Grandpa chuckled softly beside me. Well played, so now what? He asked. Now I said, pressing the intercom, send in the transition team. And Marcus, initiate integration protocol. Within hours, Genesis teams moved through Donovan Capital's glass holes. Elise was escorted out. She'd be offered a role eventually, but only after she learned humility. Dad was granted the title of Chairman Emeritus, decorative, powerless. As for me, I had a billion-dollar empire to run. Over the next few weeks, Genesis transformed Donovan Capital from the inside out. Our AI platform replaced outdated systems. The merged stock soared, and my family, they adapted slowly. Mom stopped planning introductions to eligible men and started pitching venture ideas. Elise, stripped of her title, took an entry-level role in our analytics division. For the first time, she was actually learning. A month after the merger, my assistant entered again. Your sister's here, says it's important. Elise walked in. No designer labels, no smugness. I've been reviewing the AI platform, she said. It's brilliant. I'd never understood what you were building. You never tried, I said gently. She nodded. I know, and I'm sorry. Not because you won, but because I wasted so long trying to be Dad's clone. I studied her. The real junior analyst position is open. Want it? You trust me. Trust is earned. I replied like success. Ready to earn both? Yes, she said. For the first time she meant it. Welcome to Genesis, I said, extending my hand. Leave your assumptions at the door. That night, I framed my Forbes cover beside my childhood prediction models. Beneath them, I hung that simple white shirt, not for nostalgia, but to remember what quiet power looks like. Because while they were doubting me, I was building and I was just getting started. If you've ever been the quiet one in the room, the one they overlooked, talked over, or underestimated, drop a comment and tell me what you would have done. I built quietly while they doubted loudly. Support this journey by hitting subscribe and share your advice too. Because here's what I've learned. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You just need to keep building while they're busy watching someone